Top of the morning. Top of the morning to you, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing well. What a week. Crazy week, man. I'm still thinking of X-Men 97. And guess what? I think I figured it out. I know what happened at the end of season 1. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. And it's very timey-wimey, so it's going to be kind of difficult to explain, but I'm ready. I'm ready to susplain it. And also, Nolan, thank you for the gifted membership, man. Yeah, we're driving on the members. We're trying to get to 2,000 members. Bunch of cool stuff happens if we get to 2,000 members. Again, shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to everybody that gifted members on Wednesday. It was a huge stream for gifted membership, so I really appreciate it. We are trying to get to 2,000. I have this thing set up. I don't know if it's working. I don't know if it's accurate. I don't, like, what the hell? It doesn't look accurate to me. I might have to, like, tinker with that and look at it a little bit more. Because, yeah, that's not accurate, right? What the hell? Yeah, there should be a way to, like, connect it to... What the hell? It didn't save any of the other stuff that I... Whatever. Get it off the screen. Get it off the screen. It's not working. But we'll keep track of it, man. We're going to figure it out. 72,000 days to go. Yeah, I don't think that's working. I just assumed it would, like, plug into the APIs and it would know, like, what our, like, stuff is. But who knows? So you can obviously become a member here on YouTube. You can become a member on Twitch. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can become a member on Twitch basically for free. It's a really cool feature. And if you're not supporting another streamer over there, you can go support us over there. And we count the Twitch subs and the members together for the goal to try to get to the 2,000. Streamlabs sucks. We keep telling you. Yeah, I know. But I got all my stuff on here already. You know what I mean? It's like it's like if I had rented a car and then I packed up all the stuff and we're ready to go on a trip and I've got the car full of stuff and then somebody comes over and says, actually, that car sucks. You should have rented a different one. We're already on the trip. You should have told me. And if you want to be the John Connor of this shit, go back in time to when I was first setting all of this up and help tell me then. And then we'll figure it out. Mr. Lucky, member for 16 months. Appreciate you. Says, can I get a much love, Josh, Nerd Vengers for life. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. I told you in 2019, you monster. You might have. I don't have a lot of great memories of 2019. That was a long time ago. What was that, like 10 years ago, pretty much? John says, have you seen the new Superman suit memes? No, I haven't, but if you send me some, I'll react to them. Throw a couple in the Discord. I'll check it out. I'm always down to have a chuckle about the Superman. How is everybody doing, man? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope the week has been good. I loved 2019. Great year for Marvel. That's true, actually. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Somebody up here said, how do gifted memberships work? Does a random non-member watching the live stream get the membership? So I think this is the way that it works. The more active you are on the channel, the higher chance you have of being gifted a member. But you don't actually have to be watching live to be gifted it. I'm pretty sure when it comes in and people gift it, it can go to people that are not even watching. So I think that's how it works. So apparently the Silk Show is dead. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Silk Show. So just, I guess, do a little show notes here, guys. Main topics today is I want to explain the ending of X-Men 97 because, again, I think I figured it out. I think it's really cool. I want to talk about this whole Sony situation because, yes, the Silk Show is apparently dead. The Nick Cage show has been greenlit, and there's a little bit of confusion out there as far as, like, what's going on with Lord and Miller and Sony Television overall. So I want to talk about that kind of clear up the confusion and explain why I think they're actually making. I think Sony is making the right call here. I know there's some people out there that are, upset about it, that really wanted a Cindy Moon show. But I think this is a W, and I actually think Sony is doing something that I've wanted Marvel to do for a long time. So I'll explain that in a little bit as well. Hawkeye Season 2, Jeremy Renner, Kate Bishop, hanging out in Hawkeye Season 2. We're going to talk about that too. I've got some thoughts. And other than that, there's a couple little stories here and there. We'll be kicking it, chilling. And tonight we will be doing a Diamond Lounge stream. So tonight we'll go live 7:30, let's call it. Tonight we'll open up the Diamond Lounge stream. So if you've been a member for 6 months or more, you can come into that stream tonight. They get a little bit wild. We have a couple drinks. We have a couple smokes. It tends to get crazy. Look, I'm just going to say, it's always a mystery what we're going to get into in the Diamond Lounge. But I'm telling you for sure we're talking aliens tonight. We're definitely talking aliens. We're going to talk aliens. We're going to talk the Pope. We got a Pope-alien combination tonight. Representative Binks gifted a membership. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. John Cross said, memes in Discord. Got them from Doom Blazer. Okay, let's see. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find. Oh, man. Yeah, these are cool. I've seen all of these, but yeah, let's react to them. Here's one here. Get this pulled up. This one's pretty good. It is that same energy, man. It really is that same energy. It's pretty good. I'd give that one like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Let's see. This one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. Right around a 6 or a 7 as well. Trying on his boots. This one's pretty good with like Twister happening in the background. It is a good meme format, although I don't think anybody's like perfectly nailed it yet. I think my favorite one was the guy from man, what was the one show where it had a young Seth Green in it? I think it was like Al Bundy. What was that show called? That one's probably one of my favorites. Let's see. Let's get this one. I was thinking about this the other day too. I was like, I wonder if Gunn realizes he's got to realize how poorly received this was. And it's not like something you gotta like admit to publicly or whatever. Like you can save face a little bit. Married with Children, yeah. Yeah. It was the Married with Children one is my favorite one. Yeah. Yeah, there's some good ones. I do kind of wonder about that, man. Does he realize like what he did there? I mean, what do you guys think? Nolan says Unity, yay. Oh yeah. You know what? I probably shouldn't even say this because it's been a story of delays, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say it anyway. Because it's that kind of day. Unity Chapter 2. People should be able to read it by the end of next week or early the following week. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm going to put it out there because it's happening. We're building it. We're close. But depending on how many sort of fixes I have to do with the lettering, you should be reading it either late next week or early the week after. And it's really good. It's really good. It's better than Chapter 1. It's also kind of a part 2 to Chapter 1, so you kind of need them both together for it to make sense. But it's a fantastic read. I think you'll really like it. What's your temp going to be for the Diamond Lounge? Hopefully it's a little bit more chill in here. I do have an air conditioning unit. It's super loud and annoying. I don't like to run it during the streams. If it gets really crazy, I can run it. And I'll try to kind of like air it out and get it nice and cool in here. I do have a split air condition system coming. It should be here like within the next week. And then it's going to take a little bit of an installation process. But then once we get that thing in here, dude, all problems should be solved. All problems should be solved when that happens. Tiberius, man, thanks for the 10, brother. That's really generous. Says, good morning, Josh and the Nerd Avengers. Happy Friday. X-Men 97 season finale was amazing. X-Men 97, best content on Disney Plus so far. Keep up the great work, Josh. Let's go. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And yeah, I agree. Hey, chat, do you think that X-Men 97 is the best Disney Plus show yet? What do you think? Because you'd have to include the Star Wars stuff in there. Here's kind of an interesting one. No question. Damn. Okay. Riding high on that. I think, for me, Mando Season 2 has to be in that conversation. As does Loki Season 1. Although the ending of Loki Season 2 is, like, incredible. Clone Wars is tough. I mean, technically Season 7 was created for Disney Plus, right? The Clone Wars saved. But I don't know if you can count Clone Wars as Disney Plus content, you know? Get a noise gate for your mic for the background noise? Yeah, I think that's probably fair. The only problem with noise gates is they tend to make the audio feel a little choppy, uneven, unnatural. Because sometimes I'll say this and then sometimes I'll kind of trail off like that. And you don't want to... A noise gate can actually come out sounding kind of annoying. Mando Season 2 finale was crazy. It really was. Josh, I meant, what's your emotional temp going to be? Oh! I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling good. There's a lot of bullshit that I'm dealing with, kind of behind the scenes and some stuff, so I'll probably complain. Talk a little shit, and then I want to get into the aliens and the singularity and, all that sort of stuff, because the world's changing super fast. I feel like in a lot of ways we're almost distracted from how much is happening right now and how much crazy stuff. Like, literally, the Pope is talking about aberrations and shit today. And there were rumors that, like, it was going to be about, aliens and stuff like that. But apparently the Pope is, like, dead-ass going to be talking about supernatural phenomenon today. Like, what? Like, what is happening, dude? It's so weird. So, I would say the tone for tonight is probably going to be like, I can't believe all this bullshit. Rah, 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 rah. Oh, and also, fucking aliens. Like, that's going to be it tonight. What time and can you stream it? Wait, what? I don't know when the Pope's doing that. And I don't know if you can stream that. I would expect we'll get some stuff to be able to talk about tonight. By the time the Diamond Lounge rolls around, Pope, the old Popester, Popey P, Big Daddy Pope, what should we call the Pope? He will have hopefully dropped all kinds of information about the aliens. So keep the Diamond Lounge up for a little bit. Yeah, we usually do. There's only been how many have we had to delete? I think we've only had to delete 2 or 3 Diamond Lounges. That Big P energy, yeah. Popes used to always talk about that back in the day, just nostalgic 15th century throwback. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think Ezekiel talks about, aliens and dimensional beings, in the Bible. Last month was a banger. Yeah, last month got really wild. It was really cool. It was fun. King Pope? It doesn't have a great ring to it. How do I see how many months until I join the lounge? I think the green badge is what, month 2 or 3? So you're probably about halfway there. Not a Drake fan, but Family Matters won the beef. Yeah, I don't know about that, bud. I don't know about that, bud. They call the Pope Poppy in Italy? Really? Interesting. That is kind of interesting. Pope Thanos for Secret Wars? Oh, hell yeah. They called him King Pope? Interesting. I just don't like the name. Talk about X-Men 97, brother. Hey, you talk about X-Men 97. But also, yes, I will talk about X-Men 97 in a little bit here. For sure. We're just trying to get into it, man. We're just trying to chill a little bit, you know? It's Friday morning. We're all getting in here. Some people are late. So I don't want to just get right into it all crazy like. Talk about X-Men 97 or give me the Coke. Well, these are super rare Cokes, so I can't just give these away. They're collector's items. They're very rare. You know, you can't really find these anywhere. You know, you can't find the Iron Man cans. You can't really find Daredevil pretty much anywhere. So, you know, they're pretty pricey. About $20 a can. If you guys want, I can send them out for about $20 a can. So, just let me know. Josh, I'm at work, and you playing the big advertisement TV. I don't know what that means, but cool. I made it. I'm on the big advertisement TV. Let's go! Hell yeah! Rossi coming in with a 149. Appreciate you. Yeah, so going back to the X-Men 97 thing, like, I don't know, because part of me... Okay, so I was thinking about, you know, Mando Season 2. It's incredible, in my opinion. Loki Season 1's pretty incredible. But the thing about X-Men 97 that I think really is better than a lot of these shows is just the tightness of the writing. You know, like I'm thinking to the show, and it's something I want to do a whole rewatch of all 10 episodes again and just kind of experience it all together once again, because damn, dude, what a like the writing's crazy. Very impactful, a lot of like little micro loops that get closed, a lot of macro stuff that gets closed. The care that was put into the show, it does feel very special. You know what I mean? It really does feel special. I was even thinking about back to like some of the earlier episodes where Storm and Jean are having, I guess it was Madeline, but like Storm and Jean are having the conversation of wanting the child to be born human. Storm saying like, I've thought about what it's like to be human, and then like it's not Jean because she's like, I feel like I'm living someone else's life. Or I think Storm says that. It's just like a lot of stuff that then becomes kind of meta because Storm loses her powers and Jean's not really Jean. It's kind of wild. Zach says, what's up, Josh? X-Men 97 was a masterpiece. Do you think they could be trying to tie it to whatever they're doing with Secret Wars? Much love, bro. Unity. Could they be tying it to Secret Wars? I don't think so. There's this thing that Bo said on Twitter that makes me think no. I think it's obviously setting up status quo for X-Men, especially for a lot of newer fans. And it's done, I think the show has done a lot of heavy lifting as far as introducing people that aren't necessarily big X-Men fans into the X-Men and kind of laying out why it's so great. Like I've seen so many of these kind of messages either on Twitter or on our Discord where basically you have people being like, I've never been like a big fan of the X-Men. I never like hated them, but I was never like really into them. And it's like that scene in Always Sunny now where he's like, I get it. Like a lot of people are kind of having their come to Jesus moment with the X-Men. They're like, I fucking get it. And I think, you know what would be really cool is if we could see a bump in like X-Men comic book sales due to X-Men 97. And if that's something that happens, I hope Marvel kind of puts a spotlight on that, because that would be fantastic. I've seen some speculation from different writers and creators that could happen. So I think that's great. But does it tie to Secret Wars? Probably not. Bo said this thing where he said, I was told to think of it as a different tree. You know, Loki right now is holding the entire multiverse together. It's like its own tree. So the animated stuff seems to be like its own tree, separate from the tree that is the MCU and all the live action multiverses. So yeah, I don't really think they're going to tie together for Secret Wars. However, it is possible this is heading towards an animated Secret Wars, and I do think it could be kind of interesting to be doing Secret Wars live action and then also be doing an animated Secret Wars. Like, would you guys want to watch that? Would you? Because I've seen, look, dude, people right now, people are super high on X-Men 97. Like, let's just call it what it is. So there's people that are like, I would literally rather animated movies. I want it all to be animated now. I don't even care about live action MCU anymore. I just love X-Men 97. Would you guys want an animated Secret Wars done by like this team and this kind of sensibility? I don't know. Javier says, there's a Mortis tied into the 90s X-Men show, The Beyonder from the Spider-Man 90s show, Secret Wars Part 2? I don't think that happened even after Season 2. It is possible, man. It is definitely possible. Cav says, hey Josh, now that X-Men 97 is over, what other old Marvel animated shows would you recommend? Okay, so this is a good question. I mean, obviously the Spider-Man show I thought was fantastic. I think one that's kind of underrated is the Silver Surfer show. I really like that Silver Surfer show. It does do that thing of blending CGI and animation, which is kind of annoying, but it's mostly great. The Iron Man show does that, but I don't really like that Iron Man show that much. There was a Fantastic Four show. Again, it's like kind of hit or miss for me. I liked, I think it was it Spider-Man Unlimited? The one where he gets the cool ass suit and he goes to like an alternate future where like Venom and Carnage look all crazy like eldritch horror monsters. That show I thought was pretty sick. And ironically, too, I think a lot of stuff they did in the early 2000s, like Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that show's fantastic. There's some older, like, Marvel animated movies that are actually pretty cool. There was, like, a Punisher and Black Widow one. There was a anime Iron Man Technovirus one. There's been some really good Marvel animated stuff. But for a long time, they just kind of sucked, man. They kind of went that Disney XD route, which, again, some of those shows are great. I thought Earth's Mightiest Heroes was great. Even Spider-Man in that suite of shows I thought was pretty cool, where he's hanging out with, like, White Tiger and Iron Fist and, like, Nick Fury. But it just didn't do what they had been doing in, like, the 90s and the very early 2000s. So, yeah, there's some good stuff in there. Aaliyah says, with a 5-spot, appreciate you, says, where I'm confused, how and when did people become Prime Sentinels, receive the virus? Bath bombs, vitamin infusions, doctor's appointment, MRIs? Yeah, that's a good question. I suppose, I mean, and this is, I think, a big part of the whole show that maybe we're not all processing, is Bastion changed the timeline, right? Like, that should be obvious, but, like, Bastion clearly changed the timeline. Now, I think they simplify Bastion from comics because there's no like crazy timey-wimey, you know, weird stuff with that portal. I forget what the portal was called. So they kind of simplify it. But I think that Bastion has clearly changed the timeline. How did all of those people become Prime Sentinels? I think it's just through like a virus almost. It's almost like the techno-organic virus, because we see it kind of crawl across the floor and go up that one dude's leg, and then he becomes a Prime Sentinel. So I think that's probably what it was. Maybe he kind of figures out how to build that in conjunction with Sinister. But, yeah. Yeah. Silver Surfer was good. Yeah, I liked it. Hey, Josh, what do you think about the studios not allowing T'Challa to be used anymore? He was in X-Men, the animated series, and Fantastic Four, the animated series. Yeah, so I know that there's a good bit of people that were frustrated by that and irritated by it, and I get it. Bo kind of said something interesting on Twitter where he's like, I can't really speak to that decision, and who knows exactly what that means, but it does seem like Marvel remains, I don't know if I would say like allergic to T'Challa, but they clearly don't want T'Challa in a lot of stuff, or at least that's what it seems like. But then again, it's like, you do have T'Challa in What If, right? And was he in What If Season 2? I'm actually not 100% sure. Was he in What If Season 2? Maybe he's in What If 1 because Chad had actually recorded his lines for it. And so they felt like okay with doing that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know how to answer. I mean, I think this is one of those things where the perception from fans is like, bro, they just don't like T'Challa or something like that. But it's probably more like they just want to keep Chad. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying this is the right thing for them to do, but it is very possible that they just want Chad and T'Challa to be like the thing. And they just always want it to be like that. Now, look, I think that they're wrong. I think the world needs T'Challa. I think Chad would actually want T'Challa to be recast. There are rumors that they are going to do that in the MCU with like the soft reboot and stuff, which I think would be great. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. Like it kind of sucks. And I hope they change their mind on it. Doesn't really like ruin the show for me or anything like that, but yeah, definitely. T'Challa's son, bro, I just don't care about no. Here's what I think they need. It's tough because there's obviously a lot of stuff we don't know behind the scenes. But I would like to believe Marvel and Feige are not so stubborn that they can't kind of read the room, even if it takes a little time. So famously, Feige did sort of apologize for the Ancient One decision. And I don't know how long it took them to speak publicly about that. But yeah, he's literally on record saying that that was a bad decision. He wishes they hadn't made it. So they're not above being wrong. At least I think so. And I just think the bottom line is like, bro, having young T'Challa essentially grow up without his father. And I know you can technically say like, oh, well, his father was there spending time with him and like he knew his father and all this sort of stuff. Bro, you still have a fatherless young black man. And I just like, you know, I'm not even a super big fan of like considering optics, but you should really think about the optics on that one. Like you should think about how you're taking basically Black Superman, which is T'Challa, and he is a character like Clark Kent that a lot of people just it matters. It's like a super big deal to a lot of people, and you're trying to replace him with a fatherless young black child. You know, and it's just like, don't do that. Like literally, fucking stop, and just bring T'Challa back. What an idea. What a concept. You know? So, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It didn't really bother me that much. I was still kind of just blown away by everything that was going on. I think X-Men 97 is a triumph. It is interesting, though. It is interesting. It's interesting that Bo said that wasn't his decision or he can't comment on it. It's kind of interesting. Who knows what it means? Were Jubilee and Sunspot breathing in space when he rescued her? It's possible they were. It's also possible they were close to the blue side of the moon. I'd have to watch it again, but, you know, and the show doesn't really explain this, but on the blue side of the moon, where all those statues were, it was that there is oxygen there. You can actually breathe on that area. So I don't know. There's also the chance that they were high orbit. If you're high enough in orbit, I guess low enough in orbit, depending on how you look at it, there's still atmosphere. Even though it's thin, there's still some air, some atmosphere, even pretty high up above Earth. So, not really sure, but yeah, we'd have to look at it and see. And you know what? Maybe they just were breathing in space. Who knows? Who knows? Loki could rewrite Killmonger's story and he takes over as Black Panther. There was a time where I thought that could be cool, and I'm actually pretty fucking against that now. I mean, Killmonger is an interesting character, but he is a villain. You know what I mean? Like, he is a villain. He is a murderer. He's a psycho. He is not a good dude. So I think, again, that's like saying, and ironically, they have done this in comics, right? But that's like Lex Luthor becoming Superman. It's like, I don't know. I don't know about that shit. Isn't the show in the 90s and T'Challa is still young? No. Yeah, I mean, depending on the timeline and how they want to handle it, yeah. But, I mean, they could have easily just made it T'Challa, right? I think that's the other thing. It's like, well, yes, but the Fantastic Four show does interact with the old X-Men show. And I believe it's T'Chaka, but then doesn't T'Chaka die in the old show? Tim O'Brien, thanks for gifting a membership, baby. Appreciate you, man. Lex came back as Superman in Crisis on 2 Earths. There's actually been a couple of times where Lex has been Superman. There was a really cool moment. It was when Peter J. Tomasi, I believe that's his name, was handling Superman before Bendis came over, where Lex had gotten a mother box and turned a mother box into like a suit that reminded me of like steel. And that shit was cool, man. Lex as a hero there was kind of cool. So I kind of dig it. But Killmonger, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that would work? Killmonger as Black Panther? I don't think it works. I think it's like, I don't think we want that. Coop the Comedian, thanks for gifting a membership, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think that works, man. Yeah, I just think that's like, you can't do that. That's a seriously bad dude, man. That is a seriously bad dude. In another universe, what if not 616? Yeah, you could potentially do something like that, but we've already seen him in What If, and I think the thing that was interesting about him in What If is like, dude, he ended up being exactly who we thought he was. You know, he ends up being absolutely horrible. So, yeah, kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. But, okay, a couple of things I want to get into. Should we get into explaining the X-Men 97 thing? And I will put gambling on for you guys. I'll put gambling on. Give me just a second here. But while gambling is on, I am going to remove the chat from the screen because I don't really want that showing up in the clip. It's just a bunch of like, gamble, roll. So we'll get into this. Now, here's the thing. This explanation is pretty timey-wimey. It's pretty wild. Okay, so it might be tough. We might get lost in the sauce. We might get lost in the sauce, baby. Hey, Grant, thanks for gifting a membership. You know, I will say, too, just because, again, we are driving for members right now. And if we get to 2,000 members by the end of this month, we're going to do an additional $200 GameStop gift card giveaway next month. And also, we're going to add a permanent extra day to the streaming schedule. Maybe Tuesday, maybe Thursday. So we're going 4 days a week on some big old streams, which would be great. And we had like over 120 gifted memberships on Wednesday. I gifted 50. Aaliyah gifted 50. Shout out to Aaliyah. And shout out to Randon Loomer, who won the $200 gift card this month and just said, hey, pay it forward. Put it into gifted members. Let's try to get to 2,000. And if you did get a gifted membership, if you want to pay it forward, real easy way to do that, go over to the Twitch and become a member essentially for free. So that would help with the goal, you know, just kind of pay it forward. Or you could gift another membership to somebody else to help pay it forward. Either way, I appreciate all the support. You guys have been very kind, very supportive with us. So thank you. Andreas, thanks for gifting a membership, man. Peter says, I love talking aliens almost as much as I love watching these streams. Can I please get into the Diamond Lounge tonight, even though I'm not at 6 months? I'm sorry, Peter. I can't break the rules. If I break the rules for you, then all of a sudden everybody else is going to be hitting me up like, hey, I love aliens too, like Peter. Hey, I'm like Peter. Hey, Josh, I am Peter. No, I am Peter. You know what I mean? So, we can't do that. Sorry, bud. We just make you wait 6 months because the odds of people that pay for 6 months of canceling me is low. That's the whole thing. Is like you gotta wait. You gotta wait 6 months. If you wanna just get into the lounge and then cancel me, you're gonna have to pay for 6 months to get in there. That's basically how that works. Okay, boom. Gambling is on for all of you fiends. And I gotta turn off this chat because it's gonna become a disaster. Is this like Spartacus? I am Peter. Yes, that is 100% what it is. That is exactly what it is, man. Okay, let's get into this. Let's talk about this. X-Men 97 ending amazing, and I think I figured it out. I think I figured out what the hell is happening at the end of that episode. Who actually took the meteor away and displaced all of the different X-Men? It's a crazy thing, and we're gonna explain it to you, but it is a little bit timey-wimey, so it's gonna be hard to explain this, and I hope we don't lose you in all of the time travel stuff because this can get confusing. Okay, so I went back and I watched all of the apocalypse episodes in the old show, including the one in the shitty 5th season. Rob and I were talking about this earlier on in the week, right? And I think I understand what is happening here. So check this out. And it's really crazy. I think it all has to do with Cable and the fact that this season we see the origin of Cable, but it's different. It is changed. It's not the way that it is in comics, because in comics it is actually Apocalypse that puts the techno-organic virus into Nathan, and in X-Men 97 this season it was Sinister that did it. Okay, now the reason I think that happened and why that's such an important part of this puzzle is because when you go back to the old X-Men animated show and you think about what was going on with Apocalypse, there's some really interesting lines in the ending of that big arc when they're at the nexus of all time. So basically, Apocalypse goes to the nexus of all time. He even says that he spends over 12 lifetimes in the nexus of time, understanding time and becoming the master of time. So Apocalypse, he wants to not just rewrite the history of our universe, but the entire history of the multiverse. He ends up on the nexus. Like, that's his whole thing. That's what he wants to do, okay? Now, he is defeated. And when he is defeated, Professor X and a lot of the other psychics, and I think even Strife was there, which is kind of wild. Like, I wonder how that actually works together. But all of the psychics end up defeating an Apocalypse. And what Professor X says is, you will fail to exist. You will basically be wiped or removed from time. Okay, and so that is the ending as far as that arc goes, where the psychics eliminate him and he just kind of ceases to exist, which I think is why in the current X-Men 97 season the creation of Nathan is different, because there is no Apocalypse anymore. Even though a lot of the characters technically remember Apocalypse, Apocalypse does not exist, okay? And there's even some hints of this, like earlier on. Remember when the baby is arriving and Logan says, Jean says, he's here, and Logan's like, Apocalypse, and he's like looking around and everything like that. I think Apocalypse is gone. He doesn't exist, okay? But this is what's interesting. If you look at the 5th season, there's an episode where Apocalypse actually does still exist, even after being defeated at the Nexus of Time. He exists in some kind of a void, his words. And so you can even think of like the logic of like Loki and Loki season 2. It is possible that being destroyed and erased from all time and existence still would allow Apocalypse to exist in some kind of a void, whether or not it's exactly the same or not. He exists and he's able to communicate with somebody. He's actually trying to find a new host body. And in that episode, he actually wants to take over Jubilee's body, okay? Now, he ends up getting thwarted and he doesn't end up getting into Jubilee's body, but he ends up finding himself in a body of a man who was actually saved from Asteroid M when it was initially destroyed or there was a catastrophe on it in the old show, okay? So basically, Apocalypse is wiped from existence in the timeline, but he exists outside of time, and there was a sort of backup Lazarus pit, which was in a different part of the world. And so from not existing, he then comes into a body via his backup plan. But I would assume that in that form, especially because it's not even the host body that Apocalypse actually wanted, he is technically weaker. Now, he still has all of the knowledge of time because he spent over 12 lifetimes at the nexus of time, but he's in a less powerful body. And so it is possible that he either had to go into hibernation again, find another host body, or what I really think is happening is at the end of the show, we are seeing Apocalypse basically recreated. Okay, so we're going back to where he's first introduced, where there's Ramatut and Apocalypse, like back in the day in Egypt, and then all the way to the end of time, where you can actually see the pyramids with Mother Ascani too. So you're technically still like in Egypt, but just all the way at the end of time, and that is an Age of Apocalypse story. And so what I think happened was, as the meteor, because originally when I watched it, I thought, oh, the asteroid M is going to crash into the world, and so whoever made it go away saves the world. But that's not actually true. The asteroid was already headed away from the planet. And so it's headed away from the planet, and then it disappears. Now, another thing that I did, let's just sort of pause on the whole Apocalypse thing for a second. Another thing that I did was I was thinking about, well, who's even powerful enough to do something like that, right? And I went back and I watched all of the Secret Wars episodes in the old animated Spider-Man show for two reasons. Number one, there's that same Peter Parker in the X-Men 97 episode, and that's a really interesting possible clue as well, because I think Peter has a different look than shock on his face. He might well know what's going on. That's speculation. It's just, but either way, Peter went through the multiverse, found Mary Jane, and came back. There's a whole story there that we don't really know about. Now, one of the things I did just to get like super nerdy was I went frame by frame in the old 90s show, the Spider-Man show, because the Beyonder was taking Peter and also taking different villains to be a part of the Secret Wars. They wanted to know who would win, evil or good. And I literally looked at it. Now, it does feel similar. The X-Men 97 effect that happens on Asteroid M is not exactly one-to-one like any other effect I saw, but it is similar to what the Beyonder does. There are a few things that are similar. There's that sort of blue lightning that goes around it. There is the fact that it becomes a blue sort of silhouette. There's all this sort of energy that's released afterwards that shows up in like the form of like different balls and spheres. It does visually look similar to what was going on with the Beyonder. However, it also looks similar to what was going on with Immortus in the Nexus of Time. When Immortus is pretending to be that janitor guy, and then he like turns back into Immortus, it's actually a similar effect there. It's also similar to Apocalypse just going through time that you see in those episodes as well. So, the people that I think could be doing this, It could be the Beyonder, number one. It could be Immortus, number two. Or it could be Apocalypse himself, number three. Okay? But there's also another element to this, which I think is kind of interesting. You see, at the end of the show, we are seeing the actual X-Men go to different points in time, which do add to the loop of Apocalypse. Now, we talked about this before. We talked about it on Wednesday when Rob was on the show. There is a loop, the paradox of Cable and Apocalypse. Cable goes and gives the techno-organic virus to Apocalypse, which allows him to become one with the celestial technology, which gives him all of his super extra crazy powers, which then allows him to go back in time to try to give the virus to Cable to kill him, which then allows him to be able to give the power to Apocalypse. It's like this big circle between those two characters, right? Well, again, in X-Men 97, it's different. It's Sinister that gives the techno-organic virus to young Nathan, not Apocalypse. But what I think is happening is whoever displaced them throughout time was trying to recreate Apocalypse and to basically go from a position where Apocalypse didn't exist after the Nexus, and now he is being created again within the timeline to exist and be powerful. And so we see the X-Men, not the Fantastic Four, but the X-Men arriving in ancient Egypt when Rama-Tut is there and when Apocalypse is there. And so there's going to be some kind of an influence there. And then we see into the future that there is an Age of Apocalypse timeline now, because Apocalypse will now win in at least some of the timelines to create, Mother Ascani and all of that sort of stuff, right? So I think the Apocalypse we're seeing on Genosha is the new Apocalypse that wasn't just recreated, but was also recreated with the X-Men in his past, meaning he will probably be more empathetic to the X-Men. He's calling them all his children again, which, he does before anyway. He considers himself the father of all mutants, right? But I think something interesting is going to happen where you now have an Apocalypse that was created alongside the X-Men to potentially have a different outcome than what he had before. And I think the catalyst for this could be Onslaught. Because another thing that happened, because if you consider that Bastion changed the timeline, like let's just consider that Bastion changed the timeline, right? And perhaps the timeline was changed even just after they leave the Nexus because Apocalypse just ceases to exist. Well, what if the idea of Onslaught becomes such a threat that whoever it is, maybe it's Immortus, who's just trying to preserve the timeline so that he can remain in existence at the end of time. Maybe it's the Beyonder, because what is happening with Onslaught is so crazy and reality breaking that it is something they don't want. Or it's Apocalypse himself with the knowledge of all of the time travel from the Nexus that sees what happens with Onslaught. And I think this could all be a setup to bring Apocalypse back, because without Apocalypse, there's no hope of defeating Onslaught. Now, that's not exactly how it goes down in Marvel Comics. Like, it's basically some of the Avengers and the Fantastic Four that actually end up defeating Apocalypse or Onslaught by, like, entering his own reality. It's like a real weird kind of ending. But if we just consider what's going on in the show and the setup for Onslaught, that's what I think could be happening. And so the X-Men might be on a mission not just to like find each other and get back to the present, but to make sure that Apocalypse goes through his loop, is created again back to full power, so that then in the present he can help them beat Onslaught. So that's the theory. That's basically the theory. What do you think? And do you have any questions? What do you think? Is it too timey-wimey? Is it too crazy? Stretching? Well, what explanation do you have? I'm down to learn. I'm down for other theories. 27 months? No Avengers for life. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. Loki rewriting. But here's the thing. It's a different tree. I don't think it has anything to do with Loki. I think that would be really weird for the X-Men 97 show to offboard some of its big plot to non-X-Men characters. I really don't see that happening. There was a moment at the end of the finale where I was like, oh shit, like that asteroid's coming in. Dr. Doom's probably going to show up and help him. And then I was like, probably not, even though he could, but probably not just because they want to keep it the X-Men. Where are Storm, Morph, and Wolverine at? Wolverine is in the present. Storm and Morph, I'm not so sure. Do we see them at all at the end of it? I'm not sure. How many trees in total? Probably infinite. And I've already thought there were multiple multiverses, by the way. The 616 multiverse that branches off of the Sacred Timeline, I've always thought that's a separate multiverse than a lot of like the Fox movies and a lot of stuff like that. Because even in Quantumania, there's a couple shots that have like the branching multiverse and then above it, a singular circular timeline. In fact, I probably have those pictures on my computer still because I was like theory crafting back then. How do you figure Wolverine is in the present? Well, because he doesn't help them fight the asteroid, right? So he should be... I guess I'd have to think about whether he makes it back to the ground or not. But yeah, I assume he does because they... Where does he get put into medical? Do you think that would be on Asteroid M? He was on the asteroid? And then at the end of the show, is he on the big board? That's actually a good question. Let's look that up. Let's check it out. Let's see if we see him in there. Yeah, no, if he's on the ship, then that's good. I mean, I don't know where he's at then. I just assumed he was in the present because for some reason I thought him getting medical attention was back on Earth. Let's check it out. Renee says, I've been saying for a while, the MCU needs to switch to animation. You can do more with animation and it costs less. Don't tell my wife about this. Appreciate you, brother. I'm curious about the board. Is Wolverine on the board? And what does it say about him on the board? He was on the board. Let's see. What does it say? Missing, presumed dead? I don't see him on there yet. And we definitely don't see him in one of the last scenes, right? I don't see him on the board. Yeah, I mean, maybe they cut back to that scene, but I don't see him on the board at all. Can somebody, if you find him on the board, send me a shot. Bo confirmed on Twitter, all three are in the future with Cyclops and Jean. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. You know what's funny too is like, look, I appreciate Bo getting out there and like talking about this sort of stuff, but I do think Marvel can do whatever they want. meaning they can change. Like, he might have written it that way, but Marvel can change it however they want into season 2. And I highly doubt Bo's going to be involved in season 2. At least as he's not going to be any more involved than having already written it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that is kind of interesting, though. So you're saying he said that they're in the future with Mother Ascani? Interesting. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Xavier being displaced allows Age of Apocalypse to happen without his death and proves to Magneto that he's wrong about the difference Charles makes. Xavier being displaced allows Age of Apocalypse to happen without his death and proves to Magneto that he's wrong about the difference Charles can make. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I don't hate that. I think that's a fair point. I think that could work. Wolverine bottom left corner. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Like in the probably in the very first shot where we pull in on that, huh? Let's see. Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, and he looks missing and presumed dead. Yeah, so he's gone. He's probably in the future. He's probably in the future. I am curious too what the off-world thing means with Magneto's kids. And it's also interesting because Polaris is seen on the boat in their mind, but Polaris is not on this board at all, right? Yeah, we shall see. MT has a theory with the three of them alongside Gambit will be the Horsemen. That is another good question, right? Who will be the Horsemen? I'll tell you, one of the people I want to be a Horseman is Hulk. And I know it's not, he's not a mutant, but Hulk is a Horseman in the comics. And he's fucking badass, dude. Really badass. So I think that would be cool. Angel Stark with a 10 spot says, do the X-Men look like they look in 97 once they enter the MCU? Specifically, Magneto. Because if it's not Terry Silver, I will riot. If they go for a younger Henry Cavill with his Witcher hair, thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. So there's a lot of mystery about what's going on with the X-Men right now in Marvel, because the MCU is developing an X-Men project. They've whittled it down to a few writers, according to people like Jeff Snyder. There's a lot of rumors that it's going to be taking place in that universe that we see at the end of the Marvels. And I think depending on how it all shakes out, it could be Avengers vs. X-Men, or it could be like kind of a lead-in to Secret Wars, or it'll be in the actual MCU soft rebooted universe, which would be wild. Like, imagine Monica goes from 616 into a universe that's the rebooted universe. Like, I don't know. That feels weird to me. So, yeah, I don't know if it'll be like that. But the question was, what are they going to look like? I don't know. I mean, in the past, like, here's the real question. Here's the real tricky part of this, right? In the past, Marvel Studios has tried to do their own thing. And you look at, like, Daredevil, Born Again. I think that's, like, a really good just lensing of this whole issue, right? Which, by the way, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio were recently being interviewed about this, and they said the overhaul, the creative overhaul of that show was unlike anything they have experienced in their entire career. And they also talked about how it was a little bit heartbreaking. Like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I think it was Charlie said it was heartbreaking because the original version of the show had almost nothing to do with the Netflix show. Okay? And then what you have happen is during the writer's strike, Feige's looking over the show. They're making decisions. And yeah, they really didn't like it. They said it was unreleasable. And they did this massive creative overhaul. And in the creative overhaul, they decided to bring back a ton of the actors from the old show. This includes Foggy and Karen. I think it even includes the old Vanessa actor. I believe it includes the Bullseye actor. In fact, we know it has the Bullseye actor, right? So they decided to bring back a lot of people from the old show. And tonally, it's supposed to represent what had come before in the old show. Now, Brad Winderbaum had said that X-Men 97 and Loki Season 2 were some of the shows that made them realize they should probably just pivot. And instead of trying to be like the new MCU version of this thing, they should take the success that happened in the past and sort of build upon it. And X-Men 97 is such a great example of that, right? It just feels like it just feels exactly like an extension of the old show and better. So the question is, what will Marvel do with their X-Men? I truly believe that if Phase 4 had worked and if, early Phase 5 had worked and if Marvel was just riding high and they were doing their thing, they would have absolutely stayed with that old Phase 4 mentality, which was, we are just going to do it our way. It's going to be different, but people will respond to it. People will like it because we are Marvel Studios. We are the MCU. I almost feel like that mentality has been proven so wrong, so not the case, that Marvel's now really leaning into traditional Marvel vibes. Meaning, I hope that the X-Men we get in the MCU looks and feels just like X-Men 97, dude. Like, that's the real talk. Like, that's what I hope it means. And I mean, you look at Kelsey Grammer as Beast in that post-credit scene. Bro, that's Beast right out of the animated series. He looks more like the animated Beast than he ever did in any of the other Fox movies, right? So, that's my hope, is that we've kind of come full circle and they realize, like, no, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you never really know, because there's still all these crazy rumors of, like, the Fantastic Four and some of the more wild stuff that Marvel Studios is doing. I still feel like Kevin and a lot of the people over there, they want to strike their own tone and do their own thing. But ironically, it may have gotten to a point where if they want actual success, they kind of have to let that go. So I do wonder how they're going to approach that. And I'm hopeful that with the success of X-Men 97 and with the success of Deadpool and Wolverine and traditional Wolverine costume, that, man, I just really hope that they've learned their lesson and we're going to get it a more traditional look and a more traditional X-Men. What do you guys think? You think we're getting traditional, or you think it's still going to be wild-ass, super different, like Ralph Boner version of the X-Men? What do you guys think? I'm super curious as to what you think about it. Caden says over on Twitter, Josh, what do you think about the Margaret Qualley as Jean Grey, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Oh, yeah, that could work. And Zac Efron as Cyclops. That could work, dude. I'd be down with some Zac Efron as Cyclops. That could work. Absolutely. I think that could be a good pick. What do you think, chat? Good? Bad? Horrible? Amazing? Also, why is my multi-stream chat not working? It doesn't have YouTube on it? What the hell? What the hell? Oh, man, what the hell? And Mr. JB, thanks for gifting 5 members, baby. I appreciate it. Hell yeah. Angel Stark, appreciate the support. Rossi says, who's Apocalypse's right hand? Who is Sand/Stone? Apocalypse's right-hand man is Mr. Sinister, mostly. Mostly Mr. Sinister. Renee says, I've been saying it for a while. Oh, yeah, the animated stuff. Yeah. The Exodus says, Xavier being... Okay, we went over that one, yeah. Okay. And Dano Chirius says, I hope we get a few episodes with the X-Men that are still on the board. Need some Iceman and Emma Freaky Friday shenanigans. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe they do gather up some of them. Because who do we got on the board? We got Iceman. We got Exodus. Is that Kitty Pryde over there? Emma. Magic. Colossus. So we got Magic and Colossus. That's kind of interesting. Is that multiple man? Like, who's the one on the bottom left there? You definitely still have a crew in the present day, but they're not going to stand a goddamn chance against Apocalypse. They're going to get schwacked unless the other X-Men meet back up with them. Well, no, Emma and Cyclops love Triangle. Havoc? Oh, that would be cool. I like Havoc, yeah. Yeah. Emma, Frost, and Cyclops are pretty interesting together. That would be very fun, but we're just not there yet. And I don't know if we'll get there. We'll see. We shall see. But it seems kind of like they're skipping all that stuff. I would love to see more Psylocke. That's true, dude. Psylocke is pretty cool. And I feel like Psylocke handles a bit of the fan service as it is. Or as it... wait. All right, I'm trying to refresh this chat so I can get more than just the Twitch and Twitter people. Brandon says, X-Men 97 is Exhibit A for why Marvel Star Wars needs to hire fans of the IP. I hope Feige has learned. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would say you're right. I would say it is a good example of that. So, basically, like, if you guys didn't know, and I think we've talked about this before, but Bo said that in order to join the writer's room for X-Men 97, you had to be a fan of the old show. I brought this up before, but I think it's super cool. I absolutely think that matters. Now, being a fan can't be the only prerequisite because, like, a lot of you guys are fans, and, like, I don't know if I would trust y'all to write X-Men 97, you know what I mean? But I think there are a lot of writers, a lot of people that are in the field that are massive fans and that have been massive fans. And, it's so interesting. It's one of those things where you look out at just media in general. And I think we were talking about this on Wednesday. Like, bro, media is crazy. Like, they're going for it, bro. And by they, I mean every fucking body, bro. So, whether it's the Lord of the Rings IP that people are trying to get Jackson back and Andy Serkis, and they're like putting together the squad on that, or it's like Miyamoto working on the Zelda movie for years, and then they're going to really push on that. Neil Druckmann being a part of what they're doing with The Last of Us. Like, pick your show out there. You've got people that are a part of either the original thing or massive fans that are coming in. And it's interesting because you can see the difference between projects like that and then projects like the Halo show, right? Or projects like The Witcher, which are really done with that Hollywood mentality. And I think the old Hollywood mentality was like, it really was like, we'll take it from here. Right? Hollywood would say like, okay, yeah, this cool thing, or like it has a built-in fan base or whatever, but we know what we're doing. We will take it from here. And usually they would hire people that had no love of the thing and instead had a love of either Hollywood or movies or industry. And you would see a lot of that kind of thinking supersede the thinking of a fan or the source material. Even with Star Wars, like, I think Star Wars has had that problem too, where you don't have the most hardcore fans working on some of this stuff. And Bo being a massive fan and sort of gatekeeping. Like, is this a case of gatekeeping actually being useful and being a good thing here? Because Bo essentially gatekeeped the writer's room for X-Men 97. And it worked. Like, holy shit, the amount of love and care that is delivered via the show is kind of undeniable. So, yeah, maybe, like, I would love for Kevin to do that. And I think when it comes to the MCU, why not hire people that, even if they're not like super big fans of maybe the comics or like the old video games or even the old animated shows, Why not hire people that are fans of the MCU? Right? You know, Rob and I get on here and we cut it up and we talk about these sort of things. And I always see the comments of like, you know, Marvel should hire Rob. And we've talked about this. Rob has apparently actually tried to pitch to Marvel and things like that, right? But even if it's not a YouTuber, which comes with complications, but like, why wouldn't you hire people that were massive fans of the MCU? Because I think with where we're at right now, it's kind of undeniable that Marvel made this big impact. A lot of us grew up with those movies. I mean, 2008, like 2008, bro. What's that, 16 years ago? 16 years ago? Like, am I getting that wrong? But it's like fans. Like people that grew up with that love it and appreciate it, get the sensibilities, understand what made it great. I mean, technically they did that with Iman Vellani, right? Iman Vellani was that. She is a super fan. She was a super fan of the MCU. She had a diary of like MCU stuff and she can like talk to Kevin about it and stuff. Why wouldn't they hire more people like that? I just feel like that's the move. You know, they have to be qualified. But yeah, like why not more of that? It kind of does make you think, right? And so yeah, maybe you're right. Like maybe Bo just proved that being a fan of the thing really matters. Maybe he proved that gatekeeping isn't always the worst. Because like, bro, you're talking about a guy that was he was in the Witcher's writers' room, and he talked about this. He was like, yeah, a lot of these people, they not only didn't like the source material, some of them actively hated it. Imagine being hired to do a thing that is adapting source material and you actively hate the source material. You're a tourist. You're not a fan. You're a tourist. And then you want to shape it and make it into something completely different. And there's plenty of that going around right now. And I don't think a lot of that has proven to be successful. You know? So Bo DeMeo proves gatekeeping works. Crazy. But yeah, that might actually be true. Wild. Yeah. That's wild. Rossi says with a $10 holla, I looked him up. His name is Ozymandias, and he's Apocalypse's oldest follower. He tries to F over Apocalypse in secret behind his back. I believe he's from ancient Egypt as well. Well, yeah, I'd have to look that up. The only Ozymandias I can think of is the one from Watchmen, who was a pharaoh. Well, he's not a pharaoh in Watchmen, but he names himself after one of the pharaohs. So perhaps, yeah, I don't think he's his right-hand man, dude. I don't think that's who it is. We can look it up, though. Let's look it up right now. Let's find out together. Whoa, what the hell? Starting to get hot in here again, dude. Oh my god, I gotta turn the fan on at least. Yeah, it says here, Ozymandias was the pharaoh in Sabaner. Apocalypse, one of the first mutants, his philosophy, survival of the fittest. Ozymandias, he ruled ancient Egypt. When Apocalypse rose to power, he came into conflict with Ozymandias, and he was ultimately defeated. Oh, okay, so he does become a servant and scribe. A living stone statue. Empowered with immortality and prophetic visions. Wow. So Apocalypse beats him and then turns him into like a stone. Yeah, that's cool. I don't really know too much about this character. Interesting. So do you think that that character could be involved in X-Men 97 or what? Why is it so hot? The Exit says, would Onslaught still target Franklin in X-Men 97? That would be great. I actually was thinking about this too. I was wondering, could that be Franklin Richards that's standing next to Mother Ascani? Because Franklin exists in the Days of Future Past timeline as well. I don't know if Franklin actually exists in the Age of Apocalypse timeline, though. But it could be. It absolutely could be. And especially if they want to make Franklin Richards a mutant, which he was a mutant for a long time in comics until the Krakoa era. Just a couple of years ago, they retconned him. Could Franklin Richards be involved? Obviously, Franklin Richards has a lot to do with the Onslaught thing, too. I don't know. That could be cool. I would like that, especially because I really like Franklin Richards, dude. Franklin Richards is one of my favorite characters, but there's this guy that's like kind of has like a blonde beard next to Mother Ascani. Here, let me see. Well, I can't really pull it up here because Disney Plus will block it. But do you guys know who I'm talking about? He's got a red headband. And he's like standing right next to her. That'd be kind of crazy. Richie Brash says, keep Zac Efron and his effed up jaw away from my X-Men. Henry Cavill would have been perfect Cyclops, and it kind of ruins him from being Wolverine for me. Y'all don't like Zac Efron? I like Zac Efron. Is there like, you don't like his effed, like that kind of seems mean. Richie, I feel like you're being a little mean there. Chat, is Richie being mean? I mean, I know he had didn't he like his jaw broken or have some kind of complications? I think he looks fine. He's a big bully. Wait, who's a big bully? Zach or Richie Brash? Iron Claw is dope. I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen Iron Claw. I've heard it's good. Hey, take care, Justin. Hope the interview goes well. What did Richie say? He said, keep Zac Efron and his effed up jaw away from my X-Man. Henry Cavill would have been perfect Cyclops, and it kind of ruins him from being Wolverine for me. That's what he says. In that exact accent, too. Tim O'Brien with a $20 holla. Holy shit, man. That is very generous. Appreciate you, brother. Says, I'm glad to be here live, having girlfriend issues, and this has taken my mind off of things. Is it bad I haven't watched X-Men 97 yet? As a huge Marvel fan? LOL, I've got the weekend off. Perfect chance to binge. Thanks for all you do. First of all, thanks for the 20 again, man. That's very generous, and I appreciate the support. I'm glad you're watching live, too. Girlfriend troubles, huh? I've had girlfriend troubles before. Hey, chat. Y'all ever had girlfriend troubles? Throw a 1 into the chat if you've ever had girl problems or girlfriend troubles. Anybody? Or is it just me and Tim? Yeah, you see, Tim? You see? You're not alone, man. You're not alone. I definitely think heartbreak and, relationships break up, those kind of things, man, they can be super tough. And I think there can be a wound that can stick with you for a long time. So, yeah, kind of sucks, but it's also a part of life. The only people that can really hurt us like that are the people we let in to our heart. So it is just one of those things, man. If you want to have those kind of moments, and when you're in love and you're in the honeymoon phase, it can be like some of the best feelings in the world. Unfortunately, it comes with the risk of having some of the worst feelings in the world. I still think it's probably worth it, even with a bad breakup. And also, when you have a bad breakup, man, you got to do a lot of like self-assessing, you know, because the reality is like you can't really control other people. You can't really control her. What you can control is yourself. So I'll tell you this thing. I've said this before, but this is my advice, and this is my advice to any young man, potentially any young woman as well. This will definitely be the advice that I will give Liam when he gets older. So if you want to find like the perfect partner, you got to create 2 lists. The first list is, what is your ideal partner like? What is this person like? What is she or he like? And list all the things that really matter to you, and be selfish as fuck. You know, be absolutely true to yourself. The things that matter to you. Are you a butt guy, a boob guy? Do looks matter? Does personality matter? Do hobbies matter? Does intelligence matter? All these things. What actually matters to you? Make the list. Be honest with yourself. What is the ideal partner? Okay, so you make that list. And then you make the second list. The second list is more important. The second list is, what kind of a person would you need to be to deserve the person you made in the first list? Because you see, the trick is you can't actually control the other person. You can only control yourself. So if you can figure out what is the ideal person that you want, that is a person that probably has higher standards, that it would have to feel like the person they were with brought some stuff to the table. So you make the first list, then you make the second list. Put the first list away. Focus on the second list. Become the person that would deserve and be able to attract the person on the first list. Yeah, that's what it is. Delta Dan, thank you for the gifted membership. Appreciate you. Rossi says, all the girlfriends I've had problems with end up dead for some reason. What the fuck? I don't know what that's about. Don't listen to Rossi. That's not good advice. Listen to Papa Josh. Don't listen to Rossi. Yeah. Richie Brash says, not big on boobs or butt. I'm a jaw guy, personally. Yeah, I could tell, Richie. That's why you don't like fucking Zac Efron. I get it. We've come full circle. Jay says, what are my chances with J-Lo? Probably a little bit higher now. I heard her and Affleck are having some problems, huh? Bro, what is up with all of these actors and all these people in Hollywood, like, getting these divorces? It seems like there's a 2-step process. Step 1, take a meeting with Kevin Feige. Step 2, get a divorce. Like Sam Raimi, Ben Affleck, Hugh Jackman. Like, what is going on here? Is Kevin like, you know, a happy marriage is nice, but have you ever starred in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? You know, like what? Like, I don't know. Something crazy. Something crazy is going on over there. Okay, we got a couple other things to talk about, guys. Let's talk about some stuff, man. Let's talk about some stuff. Also, you know, I'm not a greedy guy. I'm not a selfish guy, but we need more likes. And also, on top of more likes, Wasn't my X-Men theory really awesome? Why aren't more people talking about the X-Men apocalypse theory? I thought that was pretty good. Nobody thought it was real crazy. Like, come on, don't you understand? Isn't like the best? I thought it was like the best theory that I've seen on the internet. It's like the greatest. Okay. Let's talk about another scoop. Let's talk about a scoop. By the way, no offense to some of these scoopers, but Marvel is making a decision on the Nova series. That's not a scoop. Marvel Season 2 being discussed at Marvel Studios. That's not a scoop. Like, holy shit. I feel like some of these accounts set up like Patreon and then they don't have any news, so they have to like just post like bullshit or stuff that was already out there. Like, that's not a scoop, dude. Okay. Okay, this one's kind of cool, I'll be honest. I kind of like it. This is coming from My Time to Shine. Hello here. It says, Hawkeye has been renewed for a second season. Clint's brother, Barney, will play a major role, and the season will be inspired by The Raid, with Kate and Clint stuck in one location. So, again, I think this is actually cool. There's a couple of reasons why this is so dope. Number one, more Jeremy Renner in the MCU as an Avenger. That's a W, man. That's awesome. And, Renner, ever since the snow accident thing where he was technically dead for a little bit, he saved somebody and was basically brought back to life and rebuilt. Ever since that moment, there's been a lot of spotlight on Jeremy Renner. And I think a lot of people wanted him to come back to the MCU, especially just after making a full recovery. There was mention of him being at Chris Evans' wedding in some articles we talked about a couple of weeks ago. It just feels really good. And so it's great to have him back. I wonder if this is maybe a way to get him back in a more serious way, to have him then be a part of the next Avengers movies or something like that. Because the other side of this has to do with Kate Bishop. And, man, I just saw, it's kind of funny, man. I wish I would have left it up. I was on Reddit, and there was a guy on the Marvel's subreddit that was talking about this and basically said, I'm excited about Hawkeye, but I hope they actually focus on Hawkeye. The first season was not that great, and I want it to be more focused on Clint, less about passing the baton, and just be a lot better. And I'm super curious as to what you guys think about this, because that first season of Hawkeye is really hit or miss. In some ways, it's a really fun season. There's some great stuff in there. But the thing about Hawkeye season 1 is it suffers because it comes from the Phase 4 mentality. It comes from that mentality of, we can do this sort of lesser thing. We can do all these weird, not fully developed cameo things. We can pass the baton to this new character. And it really feels like that all new, all different Marvel energy. And I don't mind Kate Bishop. I actually thought she was good. Haley's good. Definitely a lot better than a lot of the newer sort of young Avengers characters that have come into the MCU. But that first season is not really about Clint. It's more about Kate. It's more about even Yelena, weird ties to Kingpin, and kind of goes ridiculous towards the end of it. So the question with Hawkeye, especially with a season 2 on the way, is will some of that be corrected? I think even bringing him back at all is a good sign. It shows that Marvel's like, at the very least, they can further develop Kate with Clint to potentially make Kate a thing, which is kind of interesting. But it at the very least shows, no, we still need Hawkeye for the Hawkeye show. Now, the fact that they bring his brother Barney in, which, by the way, his brother is a psychopath. His brother is like borderline bullseye level psychopath, like really, really crazy. That's cool, and that's interesting. So I like that element. And it also means that a big section of the story is still going to be dedicated to the actual Hawkeye, to Jeremy Renner, Clint Barton as Hawkeye. So, look, all of that sounds good. I also have a question of what's going on with the Young Avengers, because the last time we see Kate Bishop, she's being recruited by Kamala at the end of the Marvels, which is the biggest box office bomb in the history of Hollywood, which is a total side note, but also crazy, dude. What the fuck? The biggest bomb in the history of box office? But that probably means not a lot of people saw that actual scene. And we've also heard from a lot of these scoopers that we're still getting Young Avengers. I can't for the life of me figure out why. I think if you actually made a Young Avengers thing, it would perform worse than the Marvels. I think Young Avengers is a great idea if you want to knock the Marvels off of that horrible pedestal of being the worst box office bomb in the history of Hollywood. If that's the intention, then I understand it. But if you're actually trying to make a hit or make something that the fans will enjoy, I have no idea why you would be doing Young Avengers. So my question is, does this show indicate that the Young Avengers plan is going away? Because this is a big Young Avenger literally set up in that movie that's now going to be hanging out again with Clint Barton for a second season. It potentially, we don't know. We don't know. But it potentially gives me hope that Marvel's wising up, that they're not going to make another massive bomb and do Young Avengers. Bro, nobody gives a fuck about the Young Avengers. So that's potentially a really, really good thing. Now, the other thing that's interesting about this is the fact that it's inspired by The Raid and the fact that it's going to be potentially in a single location. Now, this solves some problems for Marvel and becomes interesting for fans. The Raid was a super low-budget action movie that blew everybody away. It sort of cut its teeth on the cinematography and the choreography, to which it is still considered maybe one of the best ever created. One of the best action movies ever created with that sensibility, with the cinematography, with the choreography. If y'all ever seen The Raid, it's fantastic. And it's essentially all in a singular location. This solves a problem for Marvel because they want to make lower budget things. And so you could be getting a Raid version of Hawkeye, hopefully even a little bit more hard edged, right? When we look at a lot of stuff that's going on with Marvel, it seems like they're taking things in a little bit more of a mature direction. You're bringing in Barney. That, to me, feels like it has to go in a mature direction. So for a cheaper budget, we get more Jeremy Renner, the potential of moving away from Young Avengers, more development with Kate alongside Clint, maybe Pizza Dog as well, and it's gritty, darker, more mature, and doesn't cost them as much money. That sounds like a winning formula. So this, to me, actually has a lot of positives. There's still a lot of questions. I don't want it to be a Kate Bishop story. I really don't. And I think the Jeremy Renner thing, like again, it is just positive that they're bringing him back in general and doing this. It kind of hints that maybe they've realized they need some of the OGs and they need to keep with the OGs. But with all of the love that Renner got and sort of the new spotlight that is on him. I mean, you become a real life hero. You survive something crazy. And then a lot of the world, including the other Avengers, are like cheering for you publicly. It became a whole thing. There's a lot of goodwill surrounding this dude. Essentially, his stock goes up. So with his stock up and them bringing him back, which I was told before this announcement, they're not bringing him back at all. That was like the end for him. So it shows the potential change. And with that spotlight on Renner, you'd think they'd be crazy to bring him back and sort of bait and switch and make it about Kate, right? I feel like it has to just be more about Clint, considering the new high profile that he has. So it's too early, right? It's too early to tell exactly how this is all shaking out, but it certainly made me raise an eyebrow. There's a lot of potential for what this could be, potentially solving some problems and maybe showing us again another sign of a new direction over at Marvel Studios. I don't know. It seems pretty good to me. Seems pretty good to me. What do you think? What do you think, Chad? We need all the OGs back. Yeah, I think we need the OGs back for sure, man. LOL, get run over by a snowplow and get a main lead. Yeah, no, a little bit. A little bit like that, yeah. A Renner, Hawkeye, and Old Man Logan Jackman storyline would be amazing. It would also finally give us our beloved Hulk vs. Wolverine bloody battle. Got to make it R-rated. Yeah, something like that would be cool, for sure. Man, even that old Hawkeye show, it had moments. Like, I remember back to episode 3, and I thought episode 3 of Hawkeye was great. And then it kind of just, kind of falls apart. Like, if you think about that show, like, that's what I mean. It's so phase 4, bro. It's so phase 4 where they're like, okay, we're going to do the Hawkeye show, but we're going to tie it to the Black Widow movie with Yelena. We're going to set up Kate Bishop. Oh, we're also going to set up Echo. Who's Echo? Echo's the hot new shit that everybody's going to love. We're going to fucking develop her, have her do her own show, bring in Daredevil to her show, set her up, make it all awesome. And you're just like sitting there like, bro, what if we just like made a really good Hawkeye show? That's way down the list. That's like on the bottom of the fucking totem pole for Marvel Studios. So that first season is plagued by all the phase 4 bullshit. Like, it really is. So hopefully they don't do that stuff again. My God, there was potential there, man. There was really potential there. And it's an Avenger. Echo was in that show. Yes, Echo was built in that show. A lot of that show was literally building her up. Man, it's just so crazy. Like, they do not give Clint a lot of justice in that show. Which is so crazy. And again, hopefully just that mentality is completely gone. Because it's stupid. Kobe Johnson says, Josh, what did you think about Wanda being listed as off-world on the board? Yeah, I'm not really sure what it means. Wanda and Pietro, off-world. Could they be on Sword? Could they be on Acrico? I don't know. A lot of cool options. Dude, question. Sorry, because you've probably spoken about it already with X-Men 97 and Onslaught, but how do they overcome him? Cheers and love the content. Well, in the original comic book story, it has to do with Franklin Richards and the Fantastic Four and some of the Avengers. How will they overcome him in X-Men 97? I think it'll be the X-Men working with Apocalypse, a potentially even more powerful version of Apocalypse, and maybe some Phoenix Force stuff. Like, I say they just go crazy with it, dude. Phoenix powers, Apocalypse, Horsemen, go crazy. That would be fun. Have you seen or heard the Black Panther 3 franchise rumors for the MCU coming from Planet Fanatics? I'm not familiar with those rumors or that account. What is that account? Planet Fanatics? I've never heard of them. Hope Summers replacing Franklin? Yeah, it's possible, but you could do Franklin as well, especially if he's a mutant. Franklin is a part of Days of Future Past. So, Lots of options. Did you see the Gosling Ghost Rider thing? Yeah, I saw it. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's coming from anybody super reliable. But who knows? Remember when Inhumans was going to be a movie? Oh, yes. I remember. Yes. Steve McTee says Deadpool and Wolverine tickets Monday. Yeah, I think so, man. You should pull it up. Pretty interesting. Talking about casting, director, and Storm. A lot of that stuff I have heard as well. Rumored. What is this? Planet Fanatics. I'll look it up. I am not familiar with this account at all. Yeah. Where's the scoop here? I know they're talking about like recasting T'Challa and stuff. Is that what it is? Yo, can you send me a link, man? Just send me a link to either the video or the article. That'd be cool. How could they make people care? Like, obvious, I get it. I don't want it to be Disney style. But what would make people say, oh, shit, that's cool? I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did you see Natasha Lyonne join the Fantastic Four? Who do you think she's going to be playing? I have no idea. But yeah, I saw she joined. It's pretty cool. She seems like a good actress. Really hoping for Midnight Suns project within the next few years. Yeah, I think they are going to build the Midnight Suns, man. I was thinking about this the other day because right now they're doing Blood Hunt, this big Marvel event where basically Blade becomes a big villain and takes over all the vampires, turns a lot of the Avengers into vampires. I wonder because one of the things I've been kind of curious about has been Mahershala Ali and Kevin Feige. In fact, I'm turning the music off for this one because this would be crazy, right? So it's been kind of curious to me as far as why has Mahershala Ali continued to ride for Kevin Feige and for Marvel Studios? We know there's been a lot of changes going on to the movie, a lot of drama, but Mahershala is hanging in. He's even made comments in the press, like supporting the movie, supporting Marvel Studios, which just seems odd considering how much crap he's had to go through just because of the delays and stuff like that, right? So I was thinking about that. It's just a theory, right? It's just kind of a weird theory, okay? But you look at the Blood Hunt event right now with Blade becoming the big bad and turning all the Avengers into vampires and going crazy. What if Feige went to Mahershala and said, okay, look, bro, we've been fucking up your movie, and I'm sorry, but here's something we're thinking about doing so you could come in, do your movie, but then also read this new Marvel event that's coming out because we could do this with you in a Midnight Suns movie. And we know that now that Kevin Feige is actually CCO and has control over comics, which is a whole nother thing, there's a lot of stories starting to pop up of 2024, this year, being the year where Feige has now fully taken over Marvel Comics insofar as the control that he has. Now it's all things that he has his fingerprints on in 2024, which to me is interesting because some of this stuff is working. I think Marvel Comics is doing better than they have in a long time, and a lot of this stuff is popping off, right? We also know that there's like a 5-year kind of gap, and Feige has even talked about this publicly, where it could be the case that things you see in Marvel Comics right now could show up in some way, shape, or form in the Marvel Cinematic Universe 5 years from now. That's about the time frame. And so you think about what's going on with the Blood Hunt right now. You've got Blade, which is not going to make 2025. It'll probably be pushed into 2026, maybe even pushed into 2027. Is it possible that the reason Mahershala is still riding with them is because he's not just going to come in and be Blade, but he's going to come in and be Blade and also maybe become this super big villain that's like potentially working with Lilith in a Midnight Suns movie. And I don't know, like there's just some evidence that that could be going on. I wonder how you guys would feel about that. Like, how would you guys feel about Blade potentially, I guess, breaking bad and being a big villain? I mean, the fact that it's Mahershala Ali, dude, he could absolutely carry that and make it really interesting. We don't know how the Blood Hunt event is going to shake out because there's a lot of stuff. We still just got to know. It's like 60 issues, a ton of tie-ins, really, really crazy. And a lot of people think, okay, well, Blade can't just flip, even though he did drink the blood of Dracula in comics, and he has become a lot more powerful and potentially darker. So there could be something going on there. But a lot of us think, oh, well, there's got to be a reason that Blade flipped, right? There's got to be a reason. So I don't know. That could be really interesting. And then somebody in chat brings it up too. What about Wesley Snipes? There's a lot of evidence that Wesley Snipes' Blade is coming back in some way, shape, or form. And we've talked about the possibility of, in the multiverse saga, doing multiple heroes together. Like, my dream would be all the Punishers together, right? So you get Tom Jane, maybe even Dolph Lundgren, and then you do John Bernthal, and you got all of them together doing some kind of crazy Punisher thing. Tell me you wouldn't want to see Ben Affleck's Daredevil hanging out with Charlie Cox and having like a multi-Daredevil kind of thing going on. Mahershala Ali and Wesley Snipes could be absolutely incredible together. When you crack open the multiverse and also bring in other versions of characters, there's all sorts of possibilities, right? So maybe it's also multiversal in some way, where there's like a section on Battle World where Mahershala Ali Blade has turned everybody into vampires, and it's like a big, you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many cool things they could do with it. But I, just kind of want to throw it out there as a theory, because there's that. I think Blood Hunt, first of all, is fantastic. It's a great event. I'm having a lot of fun reading it. But it could also explain why Mahershala is still riding with them. Because basically Kevin's like, oh yeah, bro, we're going to do Blade. You're getting your movie still. It's going to be dope. And also franchise. Franchise. And Mahershala Ali's like, that sounds pretty good, Kevin. I'll say something nice in the Hollywood trades, So that could be what's going on. I don't know. Multiversal Midnight Suns confirmed. I mean, I didn't say confirmed, but it is a cool idea, right? Of course, that would be cool. Wouldn't that be dope? Hell yeah. Prez says, late again. We're doing Diamond Lounge tonight? Yes, we'll be live at 7:30. We'll be live at 7:30. So we have 5 movies coming out next year? No, they're going to push stuff, dude. There's going to be 3 movies next year. Josh, I DM'd you Zach as Cyclops with X-Men 97 animation. That's kind of interesting. Let me check that out. Wait, what the hell? I mean, it looks kind of cool. See, like this is Zac Efron as Cyclops. Perfect. It's perfect. Yeah, where's the hater dude at? I mean, come on, man. Hey, Prez, thanks for gifting 5 memberships, baby. Appreciate you. We got to be getting close. I would say we're probably near 1,200 or 1,300 members at this point. We probably just got 700 to go. I'll have to look at disgusting, says Richie. What the fuck, bro? That's his old chin. Oh my God, you guys are so mean. Bro, real talk, I think a lot of these actors could not handle being a streamer, dude. Because chat is fucking ruthless. I get out here every day and y'all are like, you're fat, we don't like your face, your opinions are stupid. Like literally, I get out here and my own community, it's like the roast. And then like poor Tom Brady gets paid $25 million to go get made fun of. And then he has to go cry to all the Hollywood trades that now he's going to be a better father. What a fucking pussy, dude. What a gigantic pussy. Unbelievable. That dude can't handle it. They paid him $25 million fucking dollars. Now, you guys pay me very well, but you don't pay me $25 million. You know what I mean? I come in here and I get roasted every goddamn day. Basically, I'm saying I'm the best. Oh, hell yeah. Thanks for letting me get that off my chest. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Say it to his face? I absolutely would. I absolutely would say it to his stupid, gorgeous looking, super good looking face. I bet there's some major swamp ass going on right now. Actually, no, we're not too bad. We're not too bad in here. We're kind of chilling. We're kind of chilling. Okay, I got one more big story that we got to talk about today, man. I mean, look at your beard. Sorry, outburst. Yeah, no, see? Another one, the beard. The beard, okay? You know, I spend so much time trying to get this thing in shape, and honestly, like, it's a little fucked up right now. I over-trimmed it a little bit. You know, Here, wait, let's get into this. You know? Yeah. Everybody's like, you fuck your beard. Fuck your face, you're fat. I know we're all joking here, but shave the beard. God damn it, Adam, never. I would rather have a shitty beard. I would rather have a shitty beard than no beard. How about that? How about that? You mother sucker. We need a bikini stream? Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Hell yeah. We know, we see every day. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me, Adam. That's what I mean, though. Like, imagine fucking Tom Brady. Tom Brady would try one stream, and he'd be like, I'm gonna quit the stream and become a better father. The fuck does that even mean? What does that mean? Prez, again, thank you for the 5 gifted, man. Rossi says, you're not fat, you're just husky. Awesome. Beard is better than the face? You see what I mean? This is the shit I gotta deal with. This is the shit I gotta deal with every goddamn day. All right, anyway. We got one more big story we want to cover. Let's talk about Nick Cage, baby. Nick Cage versus Silk? This is kind of a crazy one. So this came out yesterday. It has to do with Sony. It has to do with television. It has to do with Nick Cage. It's crazy. And the thing about this story is there's some misinformation out there. Okay? So I want to go over the story. I want to tell you what's actually happening because believe it or not, this actually is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is a big W for Sony. A very rare W, might I add. It also shows that Sony is doing something that I wish Marvel would do. And so I'm very positive on this. I also want to talk about Lord and Miller, how they didn't just sign a contract yesterday to become the Kevin Feige of, Sony. So we need to break that all down and figure this out. Okay, so this came out yesterday. It was in the Hollywood trades. The Silk Show, Cindy Moon, gone, dead, no longer a thing. Now, technically, I think the show still exists in some form. I don't think they've shot anything because the last we heard about this, and I think this came from Jeff Snyder, they had fired everybody from the writer's room except the lead, the lady that was on Walking Dead. And they were trying to make the show more male skewing. What does male skewing mean? Lots of action, hot chicks, a lot of like testosterone infused, like dude, like think Reacher. What are some other ones, man? Give me some other male skewing shows. Chat. That's basically what it means. Okay, so basically, what happened? Well, I feel like the Silk show, the Cindy Moon show, comes out of the Phase 4 mentality. Yeah, a lot of good ones being put into the show. She-Hulk, incredibly male skewing show, brilliant. I feel like the Silk show comes out of the Phase 4 mentality. What do I mean? I mean, superheroes are hot, Marvel's hot, they're on top of the world, they can do no wrong. We put all the ladies in an A-Force scene in the Avengers Endgame movie, and it still made $1 bajillion, so therefore everybody must want this stuff. Female heroes, we need more female heroes. We need Black Widows, we need Eternals, we need Kate Bishops, we need Miss Marvel, we need all this shit. And guess what? They were fucking wrong, dude. They were wrong. They overplayed their hand. They overestimated the desire for those kind of characters out there. They literally tried to cater to as many females as possible with the Marvels, and it is the biggest box office bomb in the history of Hollywood. Madam Web kind of follows it up for like a 1-2 punch of out of fucking touch Hollywood decision making. That's what I mean. This was the Phase 4 mentality. We can do no wrong. Oh, let's do a Spider-Man show. Wait, you mean about like Spider-Man, the actual very popular hero that everybody loves? No, I'm talking about a female version of Peter that's Cindy Moon, that's Asian and female. Think about how many boxes we can check off with this shit. Let's fucking make it. It'll be awesome. I'm joking a little bit, but I'm kind of not fucking joking. That is literally what it is. So you had Amazon and the people over at Sony creating that show based off of that mentality. That's what it is. That's the mentality. And by the way, they don't fucking care, bro. They're just following trends and pie charts and Venn diagrams and, stupid shit like that. And they think that's what it is. So Silk was developed that way. Again, the last thing we heard about it was they were going to change it and make it male skewing because they realized all the mentality that was brought with this doesn't work. She-Hulk didn't work. The Marvels didn't work. Madam Web didn't work. I mean, how many other of these failures do you need to realize that a majority male audience might not support stuff made for a female audience that just doesn't exist? Are there female nerds? Absolutely. We've got a bunch of incredible ones in our own community here, but they are like less than 10%. That's just what it is. There's not enough of them to justify the big expenditures that would be coming out to produce these shows. There's no fucking audience for it. Okay? So what you have here is you have Sony trying initially to change it, to literally rework the whole thing and make it like Reacher. Now, in the Hollywood trades, it kind of mentions that the show was not even going to focus on Cindy Moon. That's what I mean. It was going to be male skewing. They were like, I don't give a fuck about Cindy Moon unless she's hot. We want the show to actually succeed. And they've had a lot of successes on Amazon with male skewing programming. I would venture to say, although it's not explicitly spelled out in the article, that the lady that was show running the thing might not have been the biggest fan of that. And I can't really blame her either because she's hired under completely different pretenses. And then the studio's like, we're actually going to change it completely. And that's Hollywood as well. The Boys. That's another good example, yeah. So, basically, you have Sony making the decision after years of fuckery to let that show die. Now, in its own form, it reverts back to Sony Entertainment. It's no longer Sony Television and Amazon. So I think there is still the possibility that they'll shop the show around. If they find somebody that wants it, then they'll continue to make it. I don't think they will. I think it's dead. I think it's dead as dead can be. And, yeah, I really don't care. I mean, Silk's kind of a cool character. As a big comic book fan, I think it's interesting. One of the things that made Silk interesting was the fact that her and Peter couldn't get their hands off of each other. And I'm not kidding. It's in the books. Like, it's low-key, almost pornographic, the level to which Peter and Silk would bump uglies. It was a pheromone thing. They were both bitten by the same spider. And she is kept underground for a long, long time. And then when Peter finds her, due to the pheromones that are created because they both were bitten by the same spider, they basically just always want to fuck. And it's kind of like wild and interesting. And there's like some kind of crazy stuff in there. But I can also assume that maybe, you know, the lady that was running the show didn't necessarily want to focus on that aspect of the character. Right? So Sony comes in and basically says, yeah, this isn't it. At the same time, and this is in the articles from yesterday from the trades as well, they decide, you know what is it, though? Fucking Nick Cage, Spider-Man Noir live action. And so I am literally reporting to you, I am telling you right now that Sony came in and said this show, which was created under false pretenses, is being shelved. It's over. We're canning it. And instead, we're going to greenlight an awesome noir show starring Nick fucking Cage as Spider-Man Noir. That is a massive W. I've been talking a lot with you guys about how I'm excited about a lot of the changes that are going on with Marvel. And I am. I think the MCU is turning it around. But I've also been saying that one of the things I wish Marvel would do is cancel the projects that were greenlit under false pretenses. Why are you still making Agatha? Why are you still releasing Ironheart? What is happening, bro? Like, those projects were greenlit around the same time as the Silk project. It's all the same mentality. It's goobly glob brain. Let's take the audience for granted. Let's consider our success to be licensed to do whatever we want. It's not. It's just stupid. So Sony, in a rare move, doing something I've wanted Marvel to do for a long time, pulling the plug on something that's ill-conceived, that wouldn't even have an audience, and going with something that's a much better bet, that sounds way fucking cooler, that way more Marvel fans are going to be excited about. Now, last thing on this. Out of this story popping off yesterday, a bunch of reports kind of came out and circulated talking about how Lord and Miller are essentially now like the Kevin Feige's over at Sony. That's actually old news. They were brought in, I think, as far back as 2020, maybe 2021. They were put in charge of Sony Marvel Television. They've been in charge for a long time. Now, I think there have been, some friction there. I think it hasn't gone super smoothly. But it was mentioned in the article yesterday, and they kind of framed it as though Lord and Miller and Amy Pascal were producers on the show and were responsible for making this decision and for greenlighting the Nick Cage Spider-Man Noir thing. So if you're seeing all these reports about how they are now in a different position, that's not true. Perhaps there's been a change to streamline it so they actually get the control that they need. And I do think if I were Sony, I would definitely be trying to hold on to these dudes and make sure that these guys had a huge amount of creative input and control over whatever they wanted, basically, because Sony has basically nothing going on. They've dropped Madam Web and Morbius, they just delayed Kraven to try to get it away from the absolute disaster and memeability of Madam Web. It's not a good look. So Sony not doing it. This is a rare W for them. I'm genuinely excited about the Nick Cage thing, and I actually am excited about them finally making this decision and perhaps, just actually making content for a fan base that actually exists, which is a smart move. So it's a bigger story than you would think, and I want to rare W, rare Sony W. You know what I mean? And shout out to them because I think it's awesome. And we'll just see. I'm super excited for this shit, man. That's going to be cool. Any questions? Any questions, chat? They need to do Kraven the Last Hunt for the next Spider-Man. After Spider-Man 4, Kingpin hires Kraven. Yeah, something like that might go down. You never know. They should cancel Ironheart and Agatha and just put those funds into the movies that matter / people want. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Now, look, here's the thing. I think you can make content that's not for the big, wider fan base. I should have brought this up actually earlier because I think this is a really important point. We've been talking about how a lot of these studios are going for it, right? You know, House of the Dragon, Fallout, Lord of the Rings, Zelda. There's even other stuff, right? Like, name me, guys. Chat, help me out here. What are some awesome projects, either movies or shows, that are being developed with different IP right now that you think sound cool? Because there's been a bunch of them that were even promoted this week. Like, what was some of the... the Dune show. That's a good example. What else? Foundation. I don't know what that is. Lady Bona says, if they would have canned all those shows, we would be whining and talking about why they canceled those shows. The whining is inevitable. Yeah, I think whining is probably inevitable. But I'm not talking about the whining. I'm talking about the biggest box office bomb in the history of Hollywood. And I'm talking about Madam Web being an embarrassment. Like, the whining is one thing. You might have a point, but you just skipped over the fact that they are tangibly failing and they are actually driving audience away. So the whining, you might have a point on, but you're ignoring the matter at hand. Like, the actual thing that's happening. What up, Josh? Quick question. What are your thoughts on the Black Panther? I've talked about this a couple of times today. Devin, I understand why people are upset. I wish it was T'Challa, but I'm not that bothered by it. Justin says, still no belief in punk-ass Sony until they bring out Beyond the Spider-Verse. Yeah. But there is some solace there, right? Because the Spider-Verse stuff is great. Lord and Miller is attached to that. Lord and Miller on the television side, that's positive, you know? So I think that's good. Oh, Devin, you super chatted it. Okay, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, look, I'll TLDR this thing again. I've talked about it like 3 or 4 times on stream today. But I think Marvel wants to keep the Chadwick Boseman Black Panther Association. They seem to not want to have another actor play him or to have another actor voice him, and they are still on that train of thought. I think that they are wrong, and I'm hoping that they can learn that they are wrong and maybe just sit back and... Because, look, some of the recast T'Challa people are over the top. Some of them are a little bit crazy. I think that just happens in all fandoms. There's, like, a lot of passion there, and it can manifest in sort of a toxic way. But if I were Marvel Studios, I wouldn't be so focused on, like, oh, well, this person's toxic. I'd be more focused on, like, do they have a point? And I think when it comes to T'Challa, the people that want T'Challa to be recast, which I count myself among, they do have a point. It doesn't matter if they're expressing their opinion respectfully. They're the fans. They have the license to act however the fuck they want because they support your ass. You should be the adult in the room. You should be able to look and sift through the toxicity and ask yourself, do these people have a point? And so when it comes to T'Challa and recasting T'Challa, I think the fans have a point. So, again, I've said this a lot during the stream, but that's what I'm talking about. That's the main thing. Do you think... Wait. Okay, so do you think every single female hero can't lead a project and have a success? No. I do not think that. No, I don't think that. In fact, I think there's a lot of great femme fatale characters that can be great and very successful. And I think a male skewing audience would totally support a female character, but they're not looking for the same things that potentially the Miss Marvel show, right? Let's break it down like this. Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is a coming of age story about a teenage girl. Surprisingly, I actually liked the first episode, and a lot of it I thought was like super charming. But would you agree that a coming of age story about a teenage girl is potentially a story that's just not for the wider Marvel fan base? Like, you can't tell me that show is appealing to the majority of a fan base that, let's face it, is a lot of 30, 40, and 50-year-old dudes who have been reading comics for 30 and 40 years. There's nothing wrong with Miss Marvel not being for everybody. And if it's made in a certain way, if it's produced in a certain way where it can still achieve success without a lot of cost, I think that's fine. However, if you extend that thinking to making the Marvels, which cost an absurd amount of money to make, took years, so many resources, so much marketing. Like, brother, they were pulling out archived quotes from Thanos to try to promote that shit. That is fiscally irresponsible. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the difference? Like, it's fine that the Miss Marvel show underperforms. I don't think that's that big of a deal. But then you go make the Marvels, and it is the biggest box office bomb in the history of Hollywood, bro. And my other question is, like, if the audience exists the way Twitter wants you to believe, then why didn't they go see the movie? Brother, I'm sitting up here complaining about this shit. I watched the movie opening day. Do you understand that I supported the shit more than a lot of Twitter motherfuckers? So what are you talking about? You're in a room full of people that probably supported that movie. Do you know what I mean? So no, it's not saying that women can't succeed or do a successful show. There's been a ton of them. I mean, last year, wasn't Barbie the highest grossing movie of all time? Well, what's the difference between Barbie and the Marvels? Maybe Barbie understood who its audience actually was. And maybe the Marvels tried to make a movie for an audience that doesn't even exist. Right? Yeah, so that's the difference, man. Like, that's the difference. And, you know, I understand maybe you don't like it. But them's the breaks, as they say. That's just reality. And so, again, it's like, okay, Amazon, Sony, Spider-Man live action stuff. Is it possible that making the Silk show is a bad allocation from resources. I would say yes. And here's the other side of that. I asked you guys, what are the other projects that are killing it? What's the other stuff that's blowing up? The truth is, all the other studios, all the other companies, they're pulling out their, like, massive ammunition. The other studios are not saying, what's the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 11th, 13th, 30th most popular character that has a niche audience that has only existed in comics for 10 years, and let's make the show about that. No, they are bringing in the fucking big guns. So fuck around time is over. Because everybody else is coming. And they're coming hard, bro. So Silk can't fucking compete with, you know, Fallout. Like, Silk's not going to be able to compete with the next big fire project with a new IP where they fucking go for it. Like, it's just not going to be able to. So that is another reason why it's a stupid way to allocate your resources. Because the game has changed. If you're trying to make mass appeal 4-quadrant material, you better make sure you're making mass appeal 4-quadrant material. Like, that's what it is. Yeah. Frostrodamus says 41 months of Unity. You'd love Foundation, Josh. Feels like a cross between Dune and Raised by Wolves. Ooh, and it's on Apple. I mean, dude, Raised by Wolves. Now that's an incredible show, bro. That was like my favorite show. Oh, I loved Raised by Wolves. I can't believe they canceled it. I can't believe they canceled it. It might compete with Halo. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think Silk could probably compete with Halo. But is that what they want to do? Like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. Steve McT says, Thanos, reality can be whatever I want it to be. Amen. Amen. Okay, well. That's all the big stories I wanted to go over. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else we should dip into? Dip our toes into? Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Oh, I did want to talk about this. Yo. Check this out, guys. Look at this. A freaking fan film. This is awesome, dude. A fan-made Green Lantern film? Bro. I mean, legitimately, this looks better than anything Warner Brothers has ever done in the history of their stupid studio. Like, oh my God. This looks better than the Superman suit. What the hell? And I love the Green Lantern, bro. I love the Green Lantern. It looks so good. What the hell? Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see this. I don't know what it is. And also, how'd they find like a Chris Hemsworth sort of lookalike, dude? That's wild. Definitely watching this whenever it comes out. And we'll watch it on here because, you know, another thing that the fans will do? Better than Warner Brothers? They won't copy strike my ass for watching it. Stupid ass Warner Brothers. The real Jesse Lee Reed says, have you read Contest of Chaos 2023? Agatha attempts to recreate the Darkhold If her show does that, it might have been good. Bummer, it's not. Yeah, no, I haven't read that. Yeah, I don't get the Agatha thing, man. I just don't understand. Like, that's another one. It comes out of a mentality of feeling like just because it's Marvel, it warrants an audience. You know? Because I just don't get it. And I can't imagine that show performs well. Like, real talk. Does anybody here really think that the Agatha show is going to perform well? I would be shocked. They said Venom will be the last Venom film just now on Discussing Film. Well, it's called The Last Dance, so that's not really that much of a stretch, bro. It is literally called The Last Dance. So, yeah. I would assume it's the last Venom movie for sure. I bet they'll say it's the biggest premiere of any Disney Plus show ever. Yeah, I don't know. Only if Mephisto shows up. I don't know. I feel like we're kind of past the cameo boost. I don't think there's a cameo that, like, literally they could bring Robert Downey Jr. or Iron Man back. Okay, if they brought him, okay, all right. I was like saying it. I was like, okay, yeah, no. If they brought RDJ back, I'd probably watch it. But short of that, no, I don't care. I don't care. By the way, to use your Twitch sub, you have to do it on a computer. It does not allow you to do it on your phone. That's interesting. I did not know that. Interesting. Venom is 100% defeating the villain with a free throw line dunk. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Because of the Michael Jordan thing? Is that what you're... I mean, that's kind of clever. That's kind of a deep cut. Request desktop version on phone browser. It works for me. Oh, there you go. You know what else, too? Like, I love Aubrey Plaza. I've been rewatching Legion, okay? And Aubrey Plaza fucking eats in that show. She's fantastic. Her performance is out of control. And there's, like, a lot of awesome female characters in that show. A couple of those strong female characters. But the show's just fucking slaps, dude. It's just, like, way better. It also focuses on Legion. It's just like I personally think, I've said this before, but I think the studios set these people up for a bad time. Like, I think Kathleen Kennedy is responsible for Charmin Obed-Chinoy having a bad couple of years. You know, I think Feige and other people at Marvel Studios may well be responsible for the entire cast and crew of Agatha having a bad time. You know what I mean? Like, we don't blame Sydney Sweeney for Madam Web. It's clearly Sony's fault. Number one, for just making the thing. But number two, for fucking it all up. That's why I respect the Sony decision to cancel the Sydney Moon thing. Because it's like, okay, what is it really worth? Like, is that person really supposed to feel good and have a good time? No. It's actually better for them to just get past it and get to the next thing. Because it feels bad, but it feels bad kind of in private. If you release it and it bombs, it feels bad in public. You know what I mean? Yeah, kind of crazy. Rossi says, didn't you tell me I need to link my YouTube account to my Discord account to get to the Diamond Lounge link? If so, how? I know you're great with tech. Yeah, I'm definitely not. Bro, it's real simple. You go to your Discord account. You got to go to like your actual page. And then there should be like integrations or connections. And then it'll connect your YouTube account. So. Dar Boyd says, gotta binge X-Men 97 this weekend. Any member stream planned for Saturday, Sunday? And when's the next Warhammer vid? Take my money. When's the next Warhammer vid? I don't know. That feels like maybe far away. Because I basically quit YouTube and then I had to like not quit YouTube. So I'm kind of like quit but not quit on YouTube. So I don't know about that. Any plans for a member stream Saturday, Sunday? No member stream. If anything, there could be a gaming stream on Saturday or Sunday because I still have to grind some Marvel Rivals. And so maybe I would do like a little gaming stream or something like that. But do I think Armor Wars is going to get canceled? No, I don't think so. Did you retire from gaming? No, I haven't retired from gaming, but I can't. I'm not gonna go pro. You know. Although we did have a really great record last night on ranked. Me and my buddy. I had a 20+ kill game with Magneto. Went crazy. But I also had to kind of face the facts that like I'm just a little too busy. So I'm like producing 2 comics, doing the streams, trying to help my family that's growing and stuff. So I unfortunately I can't do it all. As much as I want to do it all, I can't do it all. So probably not a pro gamer anymore. I know, it's sad. I'm sad about it. So maybe we should all be sad about it. Do or do not. There is no try. Wait, unless you guys are saying that like you think I can go pro. Like chat, are you telling me that I'm wrong? That I should get back on the wagon? Am I a pro gamer? Should I go pro now? Is that what you're saying? Wait, is gambling still on? You mother suckers. Turn it off. Turn it off. Are you guys saying that I can go pro and that I should be a pro gamer now? Hell yeah. We're pro rival players now, big dog. Hey, I was really impressed with your stream the other day, man. Good for you. Okay, wait. Josh, the Twitter mentions for the video? Okay. I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. Gonna go full time in the next 2 years? Hell yeah, bro. You were killing it. I'm happy for you. Gina coming back for the Mando movie? Really? That'd be cool. Probably be a good move. Probably be a good move. Tim O'Brien says, Josh, never got a chance to say congrats to you and your wife for the future baby, Nerdvenger. Congratulations and take my money. P.S. Andor equals snooze fest. Well, first of all, oh, hell yeah. It seems that you too are a man of culture by knowing that Andor is a snooze fest, so appreciate that. And thank you for the well wishes, man. Yeah, we're very blessed over here, bro. We're very blessed. Another one. Another little one on the way. It was fascinating. We got Liam on video counting to 10 yesterday. He's like way ahead on that. It's kind of wild. Super smart kid, super good kid, and we're excited to see what the other one's like. I've been told that like every kid is unique. You just never know. This one could be a totally different experience, and will have maybe a totally different personality. So it'll be really cool. We're excited. Steve McT says, it's a shame more people don't read comics. It would be really cool to discuss weekly comics on Fridays or something. Can I get a yeah. No, I agree. I want to talk more about comics, like on the streams and videos and stuff. So maybe we will. Maybe we'll figure that out, man. Hey, Rossi, my man. You're connected, my man. Josh can count to 500 Daredevil Cokes. Hey, you don't say that. But yeah, I still got to read that Doom book. I'm a little bit behind on my blood hunts. But, yeah, man. Marvel Comics right now. Kind of killing it. A lot of fun stuff. I'm so excited. Sony and Amazon are still planning a Spider-Man TV universe. This came out from 2 hours ago from comicbook.com. That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Maybe it'll begin with the Nick Cage thing. That's kind of fun. It's a good move. That is a good move. Yo, you guys want to see something kind of funny? Oh, my head's in the way? And the only reason that really matters is because a lot of people thought the cake was removed. That like Disney was like, we can't let adults look at fat cartoon asses anymore. But no. Wait, it's not the original shot? No, it is. It is. This is an actual frame, but I think it's like I think it is the case that like maybe one of the key animators or something like kind of turned it up because it seems a little different than some of the other ones though. Show me her jaw though, says Richie. Holy shit, Richie. BBL Rogie. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. That's nice. Do you think Marvel Studios should still make Scarlett Johansson's project, The Blonde Phantom? Hopefully it's written good. Bro, I don't believe that Blonde Phantom story at all. I don't believe that at all. If that actually happens, if that's actually what it is, I will be like, number one, I'm wrong, and I was wrong. Number two, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Number three, what the fuck? Number four, god damn it! So, there you go. Like some of the Bleach characters. Oh, yeah. The fan service for the Bleach characters is strong. The fan service for the Bleach characters, real good. Real strong. That shit is real strong. Real strong. Yo! What up, Iced Out Flames? All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here soon. I'll probably kick it for like 5 or 10 more minutes. I thought Johansson was helping with Nomad. Yeah, that's what I think. That's just speculation, though. I haven't heard anything about that. That's what I think it is, though. Anthony says, what happened to the Clips channel? It's actually funny you say that. Today was the first day since I made the switch that I actually recorded some smaller clips and some bigger videos. So basically what happened was the editor I was working with, I actually moved him from the Clips channel to the regular channel. In fact, I gotta transfer. I'll transfer him stuff when I get out of here. So basically what happened was, I basically like quit YouTube, meaning I quit trying to make dedicated YouTube videos. 99% of the videos now are taken from the streams and edited and then put up on the main channel. So because he was doing that, he has not been doing the clips. But I figured I could still do a little bit of editing for some short clips and still keep the clips channel going. So I'm actually going to release a few clips over the weekend. And also some bigger videos on the main channel as well. What's the difference between the videos and the clips channel? Basically, the videos are longer. Things that I have like a lot to say about or stuff that's like a complicated thing. And the clips channel, I want to keep like 5 minutes around or less. So, Madam Web is #1 on Netflix. I know, that is kind of funny. Like, it is kind of wild that is a thing. I missed a member chat. Darth Baba. Let me see here. Fallout and Fortnite for the new season coming next week. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Darth Baba is saying you missed his member chat. I just read it, Rossi. Most movies on the Netflix top 10 are awful. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Balin Skull says, great stream and really enjoyed the member stream. Thank you. Oh, that's great, man. I'm glad you had a good time there for sure. X-Men items in the Fortnite shop right now? Ooh, I might have to get some. The difference are longer rants and short rants. Yes, I won't argue with that. Although, it's not just rants. Yo, I don't just be ranting. I started this whole stream talking about a big crazy theory about Apocalypse and X-Men 97, and it wasn't a rant. But no, it's not good enough. All you guys want to focus on is when I get upset and rant. Holy. Mr. Penguin says, as someone who's not super knowledgeable in X-Men and only know them from live action movie, would I get the X-Men 97 cartoon? Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of funny that he asked that question too. I wonder if that's something that's keeping people from watching it, where they think they got to watch the whole old show, or they think because they don't know X-Men, they're not going to appreciate it. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if that's something that's holding it back. Ryan Gosling said he wants to play Ghost Rider in an interview with Joshua Horowitz. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. We'll see if he actually does it, though. I think he is coming into the MCU. But yeah, I don't know if that's like a big story. We'll see. Like, it's cool. I think he would do good. But yeah. Screen Crush has an X-Men 96 breakdown. Yeah, their breakdown's goated, dude. That breakdown was incredible. But again, not everybody knows about that. Yeah, interesting. Check out my Efron Cyclops on the Discord. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hey, that's not bad. The one you made in AI? That's not bad. Yeah, he's got a good jaw, I think. Hell yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, chat. I appreciate you guys today, man. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Who is your cast for a Unity movie? You know what? Ironically, I think Ryan Gosling could play Midas. I think he could play Midas. I almost feel like David Harbour, if he just kind of got into a little bit better shape. I think David Harbour could play General Xander. That's probably all I can do. I'm not good at casting. Unity Chapter 2 really next week? It should. You guys should be able to read it either late next week or early the week after. The letterer is working on it as we speak. What about his jaw? He has a good jaw for it. Gosling? He kind of has the face that I think of for Midas, for sure. Producer for the Mangold movie dropped the title. Yeah, Jedi Prime or something. I don't like it. What's it called? The General from Avatar for Xander. Ooh, that's a good pick. Yeah. Yeah. What's that guy's name? Yo, that guy would kill it. That guy would kill it. He would kill it. I want more Man-Thing and horror Marvel. Yeah, that would be cool. I do think that would be cool. Faux show. Joe Biden as General Xander. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on that one. I just don't think he's right for the role. Question. What is Unity? Unity is a graphic novel that I'm working on right now. We kickstarted it last year. I think we've raised close to like $85,000 for it so far. And we're putting all that money to good use. And we're making an absolutely incredible graphic novel. And yeah, that's what Unity is. Stephen Lang. Yeah, that's his name. Oh, hell yeah. John Cena as Dr. Doom? Nah. I don't like Cena as Doom. You know what I would have loved back in the day? This would have been my pick. I think Cena should have been Shazam. I think Cena should have been Shazam and Rock Black Adam, and then they actually should have had them fight and play off of their rivalry from wrestling. Woo! That would have been fun. Prez says, see y'all tonight. Nerd Avengers for Life Unity. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Andrea says, just wanted to say much love to Josh, the fam, and this community. It's been an integral part of my week checking in. Love, Unity, take my money, Nerd Avengers for Life. Well, I appreciate it, man. You guys have literally changed my life. And you helped me be able to do all of this stuff. It's crazy. And I think we have an incredible community. Like, the deep dives and the streams we've been doing behind the scenes this year have been brilliant. A lot of the content we've been making, you know, front-facing, I think has been really brilliant, too. So I really appreciate the community. I think the community is strong. I think we got a lot of people in here that love hanging out, talking about this nerdy stuff, cutting it up, speculating, coming up with theories. I think you guys love triggering me. I think you guys love, you know, the rants and the and getting heated about things. and just having an entertaining, fun time. So these streams are incredible. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I would never trigger. Yeah, right, Coral. Hey, yeah, right, Coral. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Look, hopefully by the end of this month, we have solved the air conditioner problem. Potentially, we can even do longer streams. And also, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like about an hour and a half into the streams lately, like my brain begins to melt. So I'm sorry if I'm not as quick and entertaining and as fun, because it is like an oven in here. Again, a kiln with an M. I'm broadcasting live from a kiln with an M at the end. Delta Dan gifted a membership. I appreciate you, brother. And also, thanks for your help about the air conditioning, too. So hopefully we get that fixed, man. And then we'll be chilling in here. We'll be doing longer streams. We'll be kicking it even more. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. All right, everybody. Much love. I appreciate you guys, man. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Ross, say thanks for the gifting. Richie Brash, such an awesome day. Thank you, Darth Pava, for gifting a membership. You guys are so generous. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Rossi says, I'm going to eat 2 25-milligram gummies tonight for the lounge. Oh, hell yeah. It's going to get deep. We're talking angels, demons, aliens, spirits, the paranormal, the supernatural, Illuminati. mix it all together, put it on ice, baby, because that's what we got going on tonight. And simulation. Yeah, we got to talk about that shit, too. All right, everybody. Hey, I really appreciate you guys. Crazy fun week. Again, I'm sorry. Like, I just feel like I'm not able to, like, perform at the same level because it's so fucking hot in here. But we are fixing that. So hopefully more fun is on the way. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all the love and the support this week. I'll see a lot of you tonight. I'll see you in the videos over the weekend. We'll be back at it on Monday. Make sure you open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butt. The butthole. It's your brown eye. That's what I'm saying.